So they'll be calling you a radical. So I want to get to sin and offer. This is important. The judge has tossed this emergency. Fuck, it's so outrageous. These Johnny-come-latelys have come in on the sin and offer shutdown and filed left and right to block the waste removal out of the spent fuel pools into the dry cast. What the fuck are they up to? Number one, worst case scenario stopping this. Worst case scenario by far. Such a vulnerable, get that shit in those fucking cans, you know, and then we can go from there. Now, the first NRC, the NRC here in Austin, by the way, my question was the first one up. Can we remove these canisters once they're on in this platform, move them up and transport them to tests? Can that be done? Not only did they say yes, they said that is the plan. This is temporary. We want a permanent solution. Texas wants it. Give it to them. Everybody's on agreement. You know, I want to say this to Global 2000 in Austria. I love you guys and you're incredible, but remember, you activists over there, you get funding from the government. The Austrian government's anti-nuclear. We don't get funding, we get attacked. This United States government, pro-nukers, left and right, we need to elect a fucking anti-nuclear into the White House. You know, and so, into Senate races, into the Congress, we got Mike Levin, he's one of them, he's the new, I mean, he's the shit down there. He's great, me and him work together, so that's your new breed of politician we need to elect. He got, how nice is they invented Daryl Isis the hell out of there, pro-nuker. So, who are these people blocking this? It's been on site for, oh my God. The Unit 1's buried on site, been buried since 2000. How about the spent? It's been in the spent fuel pools for 50 years, and these dry cast containers is 100,000 million times safer than in those, than in the spent fuel pools. What the fuck? Why are you blocking this? Why? Who's funding you? It's sure funny. You sure have a hell of a lot of money. I've never met an anti-nuclear activist fucking group or anybody in my life, anti-nuclear energy in the United States, that has any money. They starve us out. You sure have a lot. Fuck, it's over. The judge tossed it. You know, so it's good news for us. This year delay on this so-called scratch. By the way, that guy was a ruse. That guy was a sham. That guy that stood up in Oceanside in there was a fucking liar. I watched the videos. I watched all of it. Everything he said was a lie. All it did was delay this process for well over a year. Remember, it's going to take 30, 40, 50 years and bazillion, those liars. By the way, all the money was set aside. That's the only thing we got right. This money's set aside to put these things in storage. And the United States government refuses, by law, to deal with what they said they would. We're paying a fine to these fucking, and they're not public utilities. These are private dirtbags, like Bill Eugenics Gates, who owns these reactors. Apple, Google, all these dirtbags own these fucking things. They're scumbags. So, we've got to, hello. So, another thing here at Weber State Usury University, this professor who went on this racist rant, he's a piece of dog shit. I listened to the whole thing, and I know this kid. Any of you might hear KSL. I guess it is legal. Academia freedom is legal. This is important because I'm an ex-professor. Anybody who's a good professor, they can run them the fuck off this campus. These professors are pieces of dog shit here. The corruption that is here, oh, I know. We go from the #1 school of business in the United States to fucking 500 supply. They are ripping off money. Look, this is a state university funded by the state taxpayer, by the student body. These professors just rip it off. There's racist fucking professors all, I mean, but that's legal. But this guy, fuck, I mean, these professors are pathetic. I mean, all they do is take student fees, whatever, they go have trips. They're bragging in the art building about taking a trip to Iceland with the extra money. These professors, they don't give a fuck about any students. There's no integrity on this fucking campus. None of it. That's academia. The corporate hoard, fuck. It's state funded. Student fees. Everybody's going to school, all these young people, because they go in debt to pay your fucking rent. Why aren't people protesting student debt? Why aren't people fucking on campuses protesting fucking the debt? Usury, I mean, the fucking abuse of the students, what the fucking, these baby boomers and echo boomer professors, they're pieces of shit. I mean, I taught there, #1 school business in the United States, this piece of shit who's teaching over there from Indiana told me, oh, these local students are no, I says, no, you're no good. They could look it up online. We have 5 business schools in this state. Why the fuck would they go to your loser school? They can read the test scores. How do you go from #1 when I taught here? #1 to number 500. Fucking corruption here is over the fucking top. You know, academia freedom, I'm all for it. I used to write fuck on my board to stimulate students, but this guy, listen to his whole lecture. He's a fucking racist piece of shit, you know? And so he's using it as a soapbox, but they do the other thing. This is an African-American, you know, racist versus there's another guy, Holtz up here. He's a racist piece of shit on the other side. I mean, these guys don't teach because there's no fucking accountability. It's fucking pathetic is what it is. You know, all the great professors are gone up here. It's corrupt. It's fucking corrupt. Trying to pull the plug on the radio station. Oh, fuck you. Watch this. You know, they tried that fucking shit. Well, I'm going to fucking sue you. You know, I should have sued these fuckers a long time ago. You know, they ripped me off. Fucking take my MBA, take my PhD fucking funding because of my stance against it. They're corrupt as hell. You know, this university, these state universities all over the country belong to the taxpayer, to the student body, not these fucking oligarch fucking, well, they're not even wannabe fuckhead professors. There's no integrity with these fucking guys. They don't give a fuck. You know, and they don't teach. They suck. I mean, they really suck. I mean, I've talked to them. Did you see any of this science department here talking Fukushima? Did you see any of these professors talking Fukushima? No, they're just fucking going around, fucking to a castle in Croatia, to fucking Iceland, grandstanding, fucking going on fucking symposiums and spending up your fucking money. That's what they do. So, sent an offering. The judge tossed it. You know, and there's another suit pending, which is Janice has got it in the Ninth Circuit. You know, she's the same judge on the USS Reagan, irony. She's got to have a hell of an education about nuclearism by now. You know, these corrupt, and it's all the same thing. Fukushima, these are the people that build it. You know, the whole Fukushima's cover-up, it's not being run by Japan. It's run here by the United States Department of Energy, which is the Department of Nuclearism here. Corrupt. The Chamber of Commerce is lying on fucking salmon returns. I mean, the whole thing's corrupt. They hired PR trolls, the DOE, funded to attack me online while I'm in critical condition. This is your own fucking government. Stand up to these fuckheads, like this kid. This kid that went in and videoed, who do you think put him up to it? You know, you heard my radio show over and over here. You know, hold these professors accountable. Take your fucking YouTube camera, take your own video the fuckers. You know, throw it on fucking line. What they gonna do to you? You know, this is your university. You know? Where's the protests on these campuses? Why are the fucking student body, because they're working 3 fucking jobs and going to school. They ain't got any fucking time. Oh man Trump. I can't. So here's the gig going now on the science fiction economics, which is so fucking disgusting and outranked. That's my term. I coined that when I was a #1 finance professor, college in the fucking country when I taught here. That's via the test scores. That's not opinionated. They go from that, get rid of me, fucking anybody with integrity. These fucking rats. So now, Trump used to scream about this falsely simulated fucking low interest rate. Now he's lowered the interest rate, lowered the interest rate. So they've lowered 3 more. It's insanity. Which just creates inflation, which runs more fucking debt. Now they're fucking, remember QE 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now they're doing that on Balco. You know the United States government right now, I read the Fed minutes, are in buying stocks. Guess what stocks they're buying? General Electric. This is the taxpayers. And if you think about that, now you, the taxpayer, with debt, is buying private fucking company stocks to boost. You want to talk fascism, corruption, science fiction, economics, fucking Ayn Rand, Greenspan, fucking hell. I mean, 0% interest rate for 20 rates. What do you think you're going to get? You're going to get a homeless population. You're going to get a housing crisis. I mean, that's what it does. That's the only tool they have. They've spent a fucking zero for how long? Fuck this house of fucking cards, this fucking Ponzi scheme. Academia is the same thing. It's the academia bubble. These fuckers are exploiting the Look at this piece of shit professor. Listen to his fucking rants. That ain't a professor. This guy got his head up his ass. They're fucking stupid. I mean, because anybody's got integrity, they run them off these campuses. Well, they tried. They fucking took their money, like me. I mean, fuck. I have the first MBA from this fucking university ever. Oh, tell them that. They made a deal with me and they fucked me so hard, these lying pieces of shit. So, resist. You know, I don't believe in violence. There's lots of ways to resist. Just like this young man did. You got a YouTube camera, use it. You know? Stand up for yourselves. If you don't resist, like Weber State Parking sells more parking permits than they have, that's fraud by definition. I mean, these universities are all doing it. They're committing crimes all over against fucking people. But you don't stand up. I get it. You're too busy. Well, make some time. Organize some protests on these campuses. Start protesting, not Trumpism, Obamachism, fucking nationalism, fucking. They've socially engineered you into a fucking cattle shirt. One person, one car. One person, two fucking cars into your take the shower. Fucking get on the boxcar. Your contemporaries consume, obey, fucking freak show. Always been. No, it has not always been like this. We're consuming fucking 40-something% of the world's population in the U.S., usually America. The longest work week in fucking world history here. Fucking resist. Take the fucking bus. Do something different. You know, find a way. You know, the youth needs to protest. You need to stand up to these fuckers. And if you're okay with this, you're a fool. You know, this fucking student debt crisis is incredible. It's psycho. And this fucking lowering the interest rate again? Now they're buying fucking stocks with your money. Tax the future, give to my friends. That's what it is. So stand up. And if you don't stand up, we won't go quietly. We are family. You know, if I'm not living proof that you got to stand up to the machine, they tried every trick to kill me. Every trick to kill me and fucking squash my legacy, take my life. You know, cancer, fucking, you know, I had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, AML de novo at the exact same time, unsurvivable. Fucking open heart surgery, fucking. They could have paid for my fucking hospital bill, these fuckheads. The sham they pulled on me, fucking so outrageous. You know, stand up, fucking resist her, and if you don't, you deserve everything you fucking get. So, it's a big win for us down there in California. As San Onofre goes, this waste is going to go. That's why it's so historic and important, the work that I've done down there and others that are small, teeny group. You know, and I've known this. That's my crowning jewel. If it wasn't for me, San Onofre would have never shut down. That's a fact. You know, I did all that dirty work in the trenches while I was full of AML leukemia. Thank you to the insiders inside, the workers that sent me the stuff that we got to the media. You know, they're still afraid for their lives. Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate. Fuck you. I'm not afraid of them. Stand up. You know, don't fucking live your life in fear. We don't believe in violence. There's plenty of ways to fucking resist. Cordial conversations are dangerous, passionate, intelligent arguments that get results. Stand up to the machine. Use this powerful genre, YouTube, you know, that they fucking slaughter and torture. You know? Fuck your Burger King wannabes. Fuck the monarchy. Stand up. Or shut the fuck up. You know, or just go along with your fucking Orwellian fucking... Go to work at fucking... If I pay up fucking $2 million for a house, you know, the housing bubble's gonna crash. You know, in 1930, 31, 32, 33, when this crashed and popped, the bubble popped, you know, the average house value lost 90%. If we even lost 20%, it'd be the greatest economic. This is a house of cards. It's a fucking Ponzi scheme. All you gotta do, look at the fucking debt. Now, I'll post the fucking debt.org. Go through that site. Fucking blow your mind. Capitalism versus socialism. This isn't capitalism. Sure the fuck ain't socialism. Sure ain't capitalism. It's imperialism. It's monarchyism. Neo-feudalism. It's exactly what it is. Pay the Dragon Slayer. Look where all your funds go. Fucking to a military fairy tale fucking defense contractors. Fascism bleeding in. I mean, it's fascism. That's the bleeding of corporations, fucking oligarchy, whore corporations and government. They're the same fucking thing, which is against the law. It's written in our Constitution. Oh yeah, we got rid of the Constitution. Fucking, that's called the Patriot Act. Fucking unpatriot. Up is down, black is white, wrong is fucking right. Stand the fuck up and resist. Use your brain. Be smart about this. We don't need violence. Fucking, that's what they want us to. So they can use violence on us. Look. A lot of law enforcement's on our side. That's been transformed by the likes of Anonymous and Million Mass March. We fixed that in a lot of ways. A lot of these so-called, because they're peasants too. You know, they're sick of supporting these freaking gazillionaire fucking Bezos babies, fucking Bill Gates, eugenics pricks, assholes, here on the corner of obeying consumption. Going over to the hospital to get my fucking injection today. It's that time. Fuck, what a good... I walk fucking 10 miles a day. 5 miles each way to the fucking, it takes up a lot of my time. Think about that. Think about that with all the activism and everything I do. Think about that. Thank you, everyone who has supported this historic, because it's historic, it's incredible fucking work. Thank you. If I didn't do it, it doesn't get done, and I'm not giving up. I will not fucking stand down. I won't go quietly. I will not go quietly. I will not go quietly. No. No. Stand up or fucking get on the boxcar, take the shower. Stay tuned.